And good evening, SpeedGaming, and welcome to the bronze medal matchup in the Zelda 1 Randomizer 2020 tournament between Thirwolf and fcoughlin. I am Dartles. Joining me tonight will be Crimson Avex in just a few minutes. We have a potential blackout seed on our hands, folks, so could be fun. Other flags have been randomized, so it's kind of hard to tell what exactly we have until we get in. We do see a 4 hearts. This is game 1 of a best of 3. Winner goes on to play TA 909 and a best of 5 for the champion. We will be underway momentarily, and Crimson Avex will be joining me. Behind the scenes, we have Curious one on the. So we will see what overworld we have. We'll see what dungeon palettes we have. What our enemy sets will be. Kind of hard to give them a rundown. Basically, if it couldn't be randomized at this point, it's going to be randomized. We have a 50-50 chance that we will also have blackout into the mix. And right away, we are looking at a mirrored overworld with a possible boomstick, but we do not have sprite shovel. And we start with a wood. So with potential boomstick and that was on the start screen, that might be something we'll pick up once we get some. We won't know if we have blackout until we find a dungeon and we can see if we have a palette or not to look at. Yes, it is a guaranteed boomstick because the book is in it.
With Mirrored Overworld, we see both of our runners sort of taking the same path, but it does make it a little more interesting because we will see some areas accessed early by our runners just because of how you can screen scroll. And we do see the ladder there also at the secret spot in the, well, now northwest. 4 hearts is not enough for the ladder, though.
It's pretty close to start, so that'd be a quick grab once again on that heart or two. And so, we do not have blackout.
Yeah, our second time we've rolled the possibility of blackout in these final flag sets, and neither time has it actually taken. So our runners will not have to worry about that, luckily for them. And we do have level 3, and interesting to note where we start here in level 3. We have a drop on the ground, and we have a shuffled palette, but we are in second quest 1 through 6.
Yes, we are. I don't think either one of them checked what our Triforce count is, so I did not catch that. If they... We have a lovely Wizard of Sirens in level 3, though, so our enemies have been.
Yeah, Fred's doing a lot of exploration, and something interesting is he's already found a small and medium secret on the overworld, and it was 10 and 30. So my guesstimation at this point is that we're going to be having our default prices with what we've seen in the shop and the secret. So.
And we have at least a mixed or second quest overworld because there's a lake where Vanilla 2.
Yep. One of the easiest ways to find out will be to head to level 3 now. Depending on what level 3 is, will give us our answer on whether we're on mixed or second.
They were finding out about a snack by the loyal like but avoids taking the damage from the wizard.
Yeah, honestly, in terms of what we've seen with some of these flag sets, I would say that our runners got off pretty easy on this so far, between not having the what I call the gotcha flags, one of the 5 flags that we've added for the finals here. But they don't have hidden health. They started with 4 hearts. You know, it doesn't seem too incredibly bad so far. So I'm waiting to see what the catch is.
Yeah, it seems like the worst thing that they've had to deal with so far is the mirrored overworld, but both these guys can handle that pretty much no problem, I would think.
Yeah,
We actually have quite a few.
yeah, I think they're gonna have an easier time with it than I will. But they definitely have. It looks like 3, 5, 6, and 7. If I remember my Triforce correctly.
3, 4, and 7.
Okay, 3, 4, 5, and then it's 7 or 8 because we honestly don't know yet because we don't know if 7 and 8 are second quest or first quest.
Absolutely. And if we find level 9, that will kind of answer that for us, or we can just find one of those 2 dungeons. And that's interesting. We have a swordless seed, but we started with a sword, therefore we have a sword.
Mine broken. A sorted swordless seed.
So that means we do need to find the wand, though, still, because we have to be able to kill Ganon, and he'll only take damage from the wand.
Which, I mean, with the boomstick sitting there like we've seen, you probably want wand anyway, but yeah, obviously now required. It also tells our runners that that wand is not in level 9, which is also good news.
Only 1 dungeon found, and we're about 6 minutes in now.
Yeah, but we have seen quite a bit of overworld exploration, and the fact that we already know that we're either on mixed or second quest, I wouldn't be surprised if there is a necessity of the power bracelet or the recorder just because of all the expanded spots where they could come into use. And seeing this spot right here tells us that it is... oh no, this is always... It's the next screen over. I'm getting confused with my own commentary, so I'm sure that Fred will probably search around 8, and this... I don't think we really have the knowledge yet. Well, we may in a second.
I think this is a shape seat.
Well, see, where Fred came in, this might be First Quest 8. Because Fred came in, and there's the 3 areas. We've already seen Thirwolf go left with the rooms, 2 rooms there.
Yeah, this could be 1 queue.
Yeah, I think this is First Quest 8.
So we have a second quest first half and a first half back half. So that means we'll have the Triforce on level 8 as well.
Which is obnoxious because then you get that horrific level 4 from the second quest set, and then of course level 9 is not the nice, small, easy dungeon that it normally is. But wow, this level 8 is coming up huge because there is our Ganon Slayer.
And that means we have a boomstick at the start, so we could have a pretty quick boomstick seed.
Well, if we find money.
Well,
And
I mean, yeah,
that's confirmed that we are on second quest overworld.
So money could be a little bit tight.
Yeah, we know that the money is going to be vanilla. So there's one 100 rupee secret sitting out there. So if you find it, you're probably going to be sitting on the mindset of going after that boomstick. The other thing is with the enemies randomized like they are we going to be able to potentially find a lot of ropes in a dungeon that may lead us to easily find a good hoard of rupees? Are we maybe going to see some guinea farming for rupees by any of our runners to get that boomstick, especially with one being found as early as it has been?
I mean, just having the infinite bombs is a nice thing to have. I'd see if there's a money-making game near a start, possibly. That could give us some quick...
Yeah, really the only other thing that you may be concerned about money-wise, because we did get the free candle because it is quote-unquote swordless, would potentially be arrows or the meat. But you know exactly what you need to be able to purchase those. You know you need 80 for arrows. You know you need 60 for meat, depending on when you find those shops.
It looks like Fred's going to continue digging out this second item here in level 8.
And Bartman asked a question in chat about if you have second quest first half and first quest back half, are the 3-4 Triforces still swapped? Yes. No, but yes. 2 and 3's Triforce are still swapped, and 4 and 5's Triforces are still swapped. But yes, it all depends on what quest that specific segment is. So if 1 through 6 is second quest, 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 will still be swapped, even though 7 and 8 aren't.
This should be our second item here in 8, and it is a shield.
Shield is actually not a bad find this early too. When you're low on hearts and you're still coming into some of these Wizrobe dungeons like level 3 had with all those crazy rooms, it's nice to have that little bit of extra defense. I know there's some runners who shun the shield. I tend to more than I should, but it is actually a wonderful find. Speaking of wonderful finds, there's level 1.
Level 1 with a second quest will have 1, possibly 2 items.
And if we had any doubts, Fred just confirms for us that it is indeed first quest level.
Looks like Fred might be looking for the third item here.
Yeah, I mean, checking around there is actually a really good call because first off, the additional heart wouldn't be bad as Thirwolf finds a very bright level 2. But it also is good to try to gain that knowledge of if we're going to be on Heart Shuffle or not, because we haven't really seen much.
So this level 2 will look like a giant A for Thirwolf. It'll have 1 item in a staircase, and then possibly 1 on the ground.
Yeah, for those that aren't as familiar with Second Quest, basically how the code worked when they created the game is instead of actually doing a lot of moving of the code, they've just basically swapped level 2 and level 3. That's why their locations are very close to where the previous locations were in First Quest for the opposite dungeon. But that's why level 3 will now have an item on the floor, and level 2 will have an item in the staircase. It's really a swap, and it also, throws you for a loop.
Thirwolf also checking walls. We will potentially have walk-through walls in some of the dungeons.
But instead, that just seems to be a very obnoxious 2-room segment of level 2.
Yeah, level 2 can be a little bit on the maze-like sometimes with the walk-through walls and bomb holes. It's usually not a very straight...
Yeah, it's also something to note that second second quest has a lot more staircases. Of course, level 1, level 2, and level 3 with the segment. They have the additional staircases to take you to other parts of the dungeon. So stuff like that can actually happen quite a bit more. So we do have Fred hanging out here up in the grave area. Gonna head to vanilla level 6 and gets really nothing for it. Something else, Dark. I haven't been paying attention fully whether the Lupa is... Nope, it is everywhere. So book is also going to be our dictionary, so we can understand all these moblins and whatever else across the overworld. So we still don't know what type of hints we're going to be hanging out with.
Another thing to note, like we just saw in chat, is Thirwolf is very much a Triforce and run kind of mentality at the moment. He's just going to go Triforces and see what else he can find, because there's a 50-50 chance that Gan will not be...
Yeah, and it's not a bad strategy. The only pause I would have in that type of strategy is Thirwolf knows it is second quest overworld, and if he is fading a bunch of dungeons and skips over a recorder or a power bracelet that, well, not the power bracelet now, but a recorder that Fred may find, and level 9 is under that may cause him to have to do a lot more backtracking and searching if he doesn't find it. So, I mean, it can be a good strategy, but it can also be a bad strategy. So if I were Thirwolf, I would not mind peeking into some levels just to see if I can't find some of those early items that might be the recorder, just for that extra exploration. Until I find mine, of course.
There's also a chance that the recorder will bring the unbeaten dungeons also, so it kind of has more power in that regard.
Thirwolf is going to give it another check here. Now, this actually, the ladder has a very high chance of being 5 hearts, because you had the 50-50 chance that the heart requirement's not even shuffled, and then the 33% chance that it is 4 hearts, 5 hearts, or 6 hearts. So going back at 5 hearts is actually a really good decision. Some people may just wait till 6, but I agree with going and checking at 5, given where it is in relation to where they're starting.
Watching Fred here running around Death Mountain is just a firing shot after firing squad of light.
Actually, looking at a lot of these screens, I'm not even sure that the overworld's shuffled with enemies. It looks like vanilla enemies on the overworld.
I don't know my second quest overworld well enough to
say. The enemies don't change between first and second quest overworld. The enemies on the overworld don't change. So we have moblins on that screen, moblins on this screen. We had Octoroks on the 30-second screen, 2 screens up. So yeah, we're on vanilla enemies on the overworld.
So this is probably one of the tamer flag sets of the Scalper that we've seen. We see level 6 with its minty green pellet.
Yeah, some people in chat actually expressing their disdain for this palette just a little bit ago, but here we go. And level 6 is the shape that no one understands here in The Legend of Zelda, and it is quite obnoxious to try to navigate.
Well, what it is in the programming sense, it's all the black space that wasn't used up prior.
Yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. They wanted to apparently create, the name Zelda, so they created that, and whatever was left went to level 6.
I just call it the Spartan helmet.
Now, we do have killable drops on, and that's It's an obnoxious flag, to say the least. It's not anything that really is a detriment until you start killing all your bomb drops, but it is obnoxious, just to say the least. And there we do just see a heart on the coast, so there is the possibility that our Armos and our coast item were just their vanilla items, but I would say that we haven't really seen hearts elsewhere that we may not have heart shuffle on, and level 5 is on the raft spot that doesn't require raft.
And I believe that was reverse controls on those red bubbles. Just the quick about face kind of leads me to believe that.
Yeah, and the fact that it wasn't an up a continue, it was an up a save immediately, like without hesitation, definitely would make sense. But we got a boomstick on Thirwolf's side.
So for those who do not like flashes, you may want to not look at your Thirwolf screen too much because there's going to be a lot of
Yeah, and just a reminder, because we did have the question come up, Ladder was hanging out in the northwest of this mirrored overworld, so the 100 secret in the vanilla game, it was the white sword item and cost 5 hearts. And the waterfall holds level 4. And
bubbles and wall master is an awful combination.
Yeah, just as you called Dark, Thirwolf is not bothering with level 5, level 4 because he already does possess the Triforces there, so no sense in digging. Would rather find level 6 and level 7, get the Triforces out of there as quick as possible, and hopefully find level 9. And yeah, it does not look like we're getting helpful hints because we were just asked if this is a Binding of Isaac mod.
One thing in French Slayer is level 6 is quite a bit out of the way up in Death Mountain in one of those final spots.
Yeah, and something interesting about having the boomstick is it doesn't really help Thirwolf out as much on the overworld because of how the hitboxes on the rocks to open bomb areas work. So you can't actually just, hit the rocks with your wand and have it open. You have to hit an enemy right in front of it. But you can work up counts and have the boomstick actually force bomb drops for you.
It does look like Thirwolf is diving Death Mountain though, so he should find level 6 reasonably soon. Fred potentially might be a ladder blocked here in 6 feet. Yeah, okay, so Brian passed that one.
Thirwolf playing it very safely here with all the Lionels. Some of the Lionels are actually grouped up very nicely for the boomstick explosion, but you really want to be careful not to stand just in the way of their sword beams there. So, yeah, taking it slow, but making good work of them. Fred still trying to find his way through here in level 6. Gambling more on the idea that he may need some of these items that are in here. Especially with how much of 6 he's explored. I think he has all but 2 rooms explored.
I know that one in the upper hook is going to be ladder blocked. The one that's close to where he is now, I don't remember if it is or not. I don't think it is, though. I think it's just a key.
But if Thirwolf does want to continue up here on Death Mountain, he will need to use that boomstick to force a bomb drop because he is out of bombs. And there it is. And Fred finds disappointment. It is just the blue boomerang in level 6.
Yeah, definitely not what Fred was hoping for there.
And we may have just missed it, but the Triforce might actually be ladder blocked in level 6 as well.
Yeah, I believe the Triforce is in that one room that he could not get to in the upper part of the hook. That was ladder.
Nice thing about Mirrored Overworld is you can quickly get into the upper part of Death Mountain and then just scroll right over to the White Sword Cave.
As we see some White Sword bombs.
Oh, those are magic sword bombs.
Yeah, those are magic bombs. Our White Sword item was the ladder.
Now, is Fred is opting not to dig level 4 right now. He is going to take the same play as Thirwolf and just ignore level 4, while Thirwolf is diving into level 6. Remember, Thirwolf has the ladder that Fred did not have, so he will be able to get much further, much quicker in this dungeon.
I think Fred's going to check that letter now.
Yeah, probably just remembered and is like, you know I'm ladder blocked, I know I need it, so might as well go get it now. We may also see him do the clip over to the raft area to where level 5 is. We'll have to see what option he decides. Still a little short for the boomstick, though.
It looks like Thirwolf's pretty far ahead, but levels 1 and 2 are both pretty quick, so it's not as big of a blow right now. Thirwolf just ran and grabbed the Triforce and left.
Yeah, and those reverse controls hitting Thirwolf again. So he's just kind of trying to get through as quick as possible, but look here, there's some Dig Doggers also hanging out. We might potentially have the Triforce in one of those rooms.
And Fred is going to go see level 5. We'll see if he actually walks around or not. He may with level 5 because it's smaller than level 4 was. And yeah, he is going to poke.
And no, Thirwolf did find the Triforce here in level 6. Very interesting. Looks like our Triforces might all be in their vanilla homes.
Thirwolf will also do in the clip across the top of the map. And there's a 100 seeker for Fred. He did not mean to do that.
No, I think the intention was definitely to save.
Yeah, I think he meant to save to get that boomstick. You know, he maybe just didn't want to waste the money. That's possible also. Because he may grab the boomstick and then use that to restock his cash.
And Fred finds level 7 here over in the forest, and he is going to dive solely for one reason. Because of where he entered, he knows that level 7 is either Shapes or First Quest, so he knows that is the Triforce that he does not have. However, these Wizrobes...
I think he doesn't have his ladder.
No. He should have his ladder, though, because he saved after grabbing it. Early staircase find here for Fred, and it is the item, and it is the Any key. Could be a big boon for Fred.
Yeah, it's definitely an item you'll never, ever, ever say no to. And given that he only had one key, and he still has a First Quest level 9 coming up, that's something that's going to help him out.
And then immediately getting the compass as well. And wow, this level 7 is one of the friendliest level 7s you can get. I think Fred was just peeking there to see if... oh no, he was peeking to save the bomb. Very
yeah,
smart.
what he did was use that shutter door to open that bomb hole.
Very similar trick to the pirouette. If you go through a door that is anything other than an open door, and then immediately up A and continue, it will open the door from the opposite direction. So Fred still needs to find level 1 and 2. We did note that they were very simple levels, but of course still trying to find them. And Thirwolf is basically searching every spot Fred is now, so Thirwolf is going to come across level 7 very, very soon.
Now, we are in a situation, though, where we've cleared a lot of this map, and we still don't know where level 9 is. So the more we clear it, the more it's looking likely that could be underneath a recorder spot, or the secondary wrap spot.
The secondary RAF spot would be the most horrible. But Fred walking into level 3 and is like, I already have that Triforce. But being that it's so small, he's going to check it. Luckily for him, the item's very quick in this dungeon.
And he has zero interest in it. As Thirwolf finds level 7, we'll see. He may not get his Any key because he's going to see the Triforce and just go goodbye level 7. I don't want to.
It's going to be Triforce and go for him. So now the thing for Thirwolf is finding that level 9.
And will Gan be acquired or not is a secondary question.
Garrett's also pointing out something very interesting in chat. We haven't really seen too many heart containers in dungeons. I think Thirwolf has only pulled one out of a dungeon. And there is still that possibility of Heart Shuffle being on.
Well, that's a nice hint. If our hints aren't deceptive.
Yeah. The fact that we have Mix, I forget if Mix can ever be deceptive. It's been a while since I played around with the hints, but if so, that means Recorder is probably in level 5, and Thirwolf is making a beeline. Oh, to get the last hint. Don't use auto fire. And Fred gets the Triforce out of level 1 very, very quickly, like we anticipated. And now we'll see if Thirwolf decides to go to level 5 to look for that recorder.
Yeah, it looks like he's heading that direction.
And here's level 2 for Fred. Now remember, Fred has only seen the community hint so far, so he may not be inclined to actually go and purchase any hints.
But the way that Fred's been playing is he will probably clear the find the item in here in level 2.
Yeah, not knowing where level 9 is yet, I would be very surprised if he doesn't search a little bit for possibly the recorder, but it may be rather big if he says let's go, if he goes into level 4 because there's 2 items and is able to find the bow or the silver arrows, and again it turns out to be required. So it will be very interesting to see how it plays out once Thirwolf finds level 9 to whether Ganon's required, or, you know, we saw the possibility that we might have a Goma block. And yeah, immediately finds level 9.
And it was recorder blocked, so Fred does have to get into level 5 to get that recorder. And we have our silvers in the southwest of Skull, but we still need a bow to even make those use. And Fred grabs the Triforce in level 2. Chef brings up a good point that keys could also potentially be an issue.
Yeah, except when level 9 is just giving them to Thirwolf. But we do get the lovely enemy set of Wizrobes, so Boomstick is going to be big for both of our runners because Fred just picked it up as well. It will definitely help with combat here in level 9. And the very nice thing about Wizrobes is because they don't take damage to the wand beams, they will always take that full 4 damage from the wand.
It does look like Fred is going to be heading back up to Death Mountain to go to level 6 again.
Fred level 6 earlier because he was ladder blocked from the Triforce.
We have a single share door here for Thirwolf, and it opens up.
Is this what we deem moderate luck?
I mean, with this particular set, I'd say they had good luck considering they didn't get the nastier flag. So you're seeing Thirwolf do one of the tricks that a lot of runners of this flag set have done. Just going straight north as much as the game will allow them. Given that Zelda is sometimes in her own room and usually just opened. So if you go up north, that kind of just lets you walk into her room.
Yeah, especially with Triforces being in their vanilla room, it kind of makes you feel that it's going that way anyway. That's a nasty room, the tea room with the red bubbles.
Yeah, I know Zelda's technically the level 9 Triforce, but I don't think it counts her as the Triforce in their own room flag. I think that's a separate.
So Fred is back in level 6, just going for the Triforce right now. And then remembers that he can't get in from below. I do have to say, one way the randomizer has spoiled me, especially with shapes, is that the no dark rooms. So when I play like regular things, and wow, there's the compass in Ganon's room, but we have a Ganon required.
All right, so now this is back to anyone's game, because now we have to go find that bow, and that can be anyone.
But every time I see someone enter a dark room in level 9, I'm always thinking, you know, that's Ganon. Even if I don't hear the roar, I'll think that's just me becoming spoiled. But so Thirwolf is going to stay here in level 9 and sort of search around for the items a little bit. A bunch of staircases, 14 staircases total, 6 of them connect, plus 2 items. And this is definitely the call I'd make. You're already here, you might as well search, because even if you don't find the bow here, there's still a really high chance that silvers are in 9.
Well, we know the silvers are here because we saw the hint.
Oh, I did not see that hint.
Oh, silvers are in the southwest. We don't know about the bow though, but with the silvers being here, I'd probably assume the red ring is here. Looks like Fred is going to finish off digging that around the Death Mountain area, get the last couple spots even.
Now, this is one of those scenarios where not finding the hint that Thirwolf did about the recorder being in level 5 might lead Fred to a different level first to search for items, like here in level 2. And if he happens to find the bow relatively quickly, and then get over to 5 and find the recorder relatively quickly, we might see him catch up to Thirwolf much faster than we would expect.
Yeah, because I mean, Thirwolf may even finish here in level 9 and go to some level 4 that has 2 items instead of just 1. Even though it's a bit bigger there, it's a higher.
Not only level 4, but he also may return to level 8 because he's already explored a little bit of level 8 and knows there's a second item in there. Fred already has that item, so he is well aware of what isn't there.
It's amazing to me how many of these seeds have come down to the bow.
I don't think the bow would be such a factor in a lot of these seeds if we didn't have that possibility for force Ganon to be off. I do think that has a lot to do with it, but it's great for viewing when you're always hunting one specific item, and it's a race to see who finds it first. And it is just a bomb upgrade here in level 2.
He may head to level 1, so that's pretty close to him.
Yeah, immediately where he's heading.
And then after that, I guess it's his call if he wants to go to level 5 or if he wants to go back to level 8. Well, not 8, but 7. No, he did 7 too.
Yeah, so he already knows items out of 6, 7, and 8. So he's not.
He just has 5 and 6 left. Or, sorry, 4 and 5.
Yeah, he may go to 4 first just because a higher volume of items, but it is also a humongous and annoying level. But that's where Thirwolf goes. He goes into level 4 first.
So if the bow is here in 1, then there it is.
So we will see if Fred decides to go to 5 first, or if he decides to go to 4 first.
That save. Okay, so he's going to 4.
So here in level 4, both of our runners are going to be looking for the 2 items. Once Fred finds out that it's not here in 4, we'll know, first of all, immediately to head to level 5 for the recorder, but also that silvers are going to be in 9. But Thirwolf will have a variety of options to do, so we'll see if he immediately goes to level 1, because both items in 1 and 5 were pretty much at the beginning of the level. They were quick finds. So really, whoever makes the right call on what dungeon to go to and how fast Fred can explore 9 to catch up to Thir is really going to determine how close and the outcome of this match. So by no means is this near over yet.
No, I'd say they're definitely, I wouldn't say neck and neck, but about as close as you could to without being exactly. I mean, Thirwolf has a slight advantage at this point, but I wouldn't say it's.
Yeah, I'd say the biggest advantage that Thirwolf has right now is his exploration of 9. He has a lot of 9 explored, and he already has the silvers out of there, which Fred still needs to be able to find. Now, Fred does have the book, so he will get that same hint that Thirwolf got, but it will definitely be interesting to see how this plays out. And there's the red candle for Fred. He is down to just probably finding the raft, and he's going to save, so Fred may be heading right to 5 instead of staying at 4 and continuing to dig out the large dungeon.
Yeah, he is saying goodbye.
Just the way both runners are playing right now, both of them are under the assumption that Heart Shuffle is not on. Oh yeah, that's right. Fred would know that, well, the other item in 4 is Raft because he knows 5 was Raft blocked.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, so it's heads up.
Of course, we're not using Raft to get here, so, but logically, Raft has to be in 4.
That didn't even cross my mind. So I was kind of lucky for her that he found the red candle first. And I believe this is the recorder room.
With a bunch of reverse controlled bubbles. And there is the recorder for Fred. So he's immediately going to up A and save, not only to get back to his starting location quicker, but he's also going to get rid of that curse. And he's going to find 9 just as quickly as Thirwolf did.
So I'd say the pendulum swings back to Fred at this point.
Absolutely. It's going to be a matter of how fast he can navigate this 9. If he finds silvers relatively early, I would not be surprised if he pulls this out. Compass was, if I remember correctly, it was pretty free. Yeah, it was free. It was just laying on the ground in Ganon's room.
And there's the silver hint for Fred. But Thirwolf doesn't know the raft has to be here because he hasn't done as many other levels.
Yeah, I mean, he still has 6, 7, and the other item in 8 that are still at large. He has the item in 2 still at large, plus, of course, the bow in 1. So
No.
I would expect him to go back to 1 sooner than some other dungeons, but do not be shocked if he goes back to 8 first.
Fred being the wrong side of a wizard.
Yeah, they may be slightly easier with Boomstick, but they're nowhere near friendly.
No, wizard will still do a lot of damage very quickly.
As do Patras.
The one thing to note about wizards is they don't have a invincibility frame, so you can't kind of hit them and walk through them. They'll still hit you.
I feel like you're calling me out there.
Would I do that?
Not as much as some others, but yes.
I mean, yes, but anyway. So Fred back to he wants some.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if there's actually another entrance to Zelda's room as well. We saw the one from the north, and we know that the compass is to the left of that. But Fred taking another death here as well. So probably would appreciate if he would happen to stumble across the red ring as well. And there's the raft for Thirwolf and the entirety of level 4.
Question now is, what does Thirwolf want to check out next? So let's say he might be going to Burn Row. No, wait. He's going level... No? Yeah, they're going to Burn Row. Okay, so he's going to go to 2 and...
So
looks like level 2 first.
Yeah, he's doing 2 first, but he should be catching up to Fred then as well. So how much information and how much can Fred find before Thirwolf gets back?
I don't think Thirwolf knows where Ganon is, so he's supposed to find Ganon still.
Oh, and Dig Dogger Babies did roll up a little bit. We'll see if we all get the music back over to Fred so we can listen for Ganon as well.
Gotta love that level 9 ominous music. And there's the Zelda room for Fred, so he knows that Ganon's necessary now. He just saw from the bottom.
Yep, so we do have multiple entrances, and Fred knows where the hint is, so we'll see him work his way down to that southwest corner.
I want to say this is the room that has it.
Fred putting that potion to good use. And that and I actually think it may have been in the bottom C room, but I could be wrong.
Chat says the bottom left tooth, okay.
Fred going to see where this takes him, but it takes him much further away than he wants to be. But, I mean, that's another knowledge path to where Zelda is. So Fred making his way back down to the southwest here, still trying to find those silvers. And we still have to find Ganon. Thirwolf finding out about the bomb upgrade in level 2. So he'll be heading to level 1 very, very shortly.
So now we basically kind of have a race to Ganon at this point.
And here's one of our breakfast rooms.
And there's silvers for Fred.
Fred will have probably about a minute and a half. But Thirwolf, I believe, in the room where the bow is. So, can Fred find Ganon?
Now, we don't know if we actually heard Ganon or not yet, because we can only hear the audio of one source. So it's possible that we just haven't been able to hear it ourselves.
Yeah, I don't recall hearing it on Thir's side. And we haven't heard it on Fred's side since I flipped it back over, but Fred pretty much has explored the same area that Thirwolf did. So it would make sense if neither of them have heard yet. Fred exploring like he hasn't heard the Roar of Ganon yet.
Thirwolf back into 9.
Now we'll be seeing our runners try to cover as many rooms as possible by staggering their exploration. They're not going to just walk up and down each column. They're going to stagger to try to cover as many rooms as possible to listen for that roar. Thirwolf takes an up A to go back to start, maybe heading left here, looking for a possible staircase. And Fred resetting the room, taking his time here as well.
I think Fred got hit by the bubble because his movement's a little bit off.
Definitely trying to get to that blue bubble.
Fred is into the northwest. Thirwolf is in that awful tea room that you mentioned earlier.
Very slowly clipping across on his ladder, doing the double ladder clip. Looks like Fred will be making his way over there soon. This Thirwolf here, and in here.
Fred just taking the bubble and just running, not even trying to dodge it.
There is filling up on health, so it looks like he has heard the roar.
And Fred's right there as well. Oh, we have a 0 HP Ganon. Down goes the...
Fred's going to go up here, and he's immediately going to hear who has the quicker path to Zelda. I mean, they both track extremely well, so I assume that both of them have really good path. Is Fred looking for possible red ring here? Yes. But it may not be enough because Thera is on his way to Zelda.
Red ring right next door to Ganon. But Thirwolf is going to go one room to the left. There's the shoulder. It's going to open right away. And Thirwolf will go through and take game 1 of this best of...
GG's out for Thirwolf. Fred is going to be coming right behind him as well. Thirwolf with an official time of 1 hour and 2 seconds. And we are joined by Thirwolf. GG.
Thanks.
So I guess the first thing that I have to say is the seed was actually very, very friendly.
Pretty much, yeah. I can't complain about how friendly it was. Everything dying left and right. May or may not have something to do with a wand that had a book. But
I like the swordless but sworded seed.
Yeah. That was quality. Free candle, though. Can't complain.
So now you are 1 match away from a return visit against TA909 for the champ.
Yeah, I still got a Fred to fight here. Yeah.
I know
Pretty close
your
race,
game
it looks
2
like.
tomorrow will be tomorrow at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock.
Yeah, same time. I don't know what Fred's remorse is. I don't think he said.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll figure that out tomorrow. Might be swords required because I know Fred does like to use swords, but we'll definitely see. The routing divergence in this seed was actually pretty incredible. You had most of 9 explored, found out that Ganon was required, went and searched for your silvers, and about that time, Fred found bow and 1, and it was just a matter of, could Fred find what he needed to get into 9 before you went into level 1, and I mean, the race was just super tight the whole time. Both of you were searching for Ganon, had all the other answers, and you just happened to find Ganon when Fred was about 5 or 6 rooms away.
Well, based on my 9 exploration, Ganon was in one of 2 rooms, so when I went back, I knew where to go. Try to stare, that didn't work out, so I just went up to that T room. Because, yeah. Last room in the southwest for silvers, every room in 4 for garbage. But it got back to 1 eventually, so quickly enough, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, you missed the any key out of 7, the blue boomerang out of 6, and the magic shield out of 8, I think. So
I wouldn't say I missed those.
Well, yes, exactly. But yeah, GG. I'm not great at doing these interviews, so I'm not going to force much. So did you have anything else that you wanted to give input on for the seed?
A bit sad there was no blackout. Alas, alas. Maybe next time. That's twice I've missed the 50-50 on it, so we'll see what we get next time.
Hey, as long as my bot's not doing one-hit KO every single time, I'm happy.
I'm okay if it doesn't do that ever again.
Maybe I'll go rig it.
Yeah, don't do that. Alright, well, thanks for doing the comms and restream and track and all that fun stuff, and I'll see everybody tomorrow.
All right, best of luck going into tomorrow. So with that, please give both their runners Thirwolf and fcoughlin a follow. As well as my co-com today was Crimson Avix. Track force behind the scenes was Kyros1, and I was Dark Falls. We will see you tomorrow for race 2 of this best of 3. Have a great night, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
Take care, all.